What's up, world? It is your boy, Bionic.
And Ray.
And we're back with another episode of A-440 Radio. We'd like to thank you for tuning in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, and the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. And, you know, I always have to tell y'all, make sure to go check out ayleemusic.com. The music is hot, but you ain't got to take my word for it. If you on the streaming platforms, make sure to search A.Y space. Let me start that again. A space, Y space, L-E-E. And if you need to, hit the YouTube page. I got some hot videos up there. You can catch the old shows up there. That's youtube.com/Bionic151. Now's the time I would normally get into the sponsorship aspect and shouting out my sponsors and whatnot.
But
today we have a special guest in the studio.
Special guest.
The OG sponsor.
The OG.
Dr. Kenneth Brown.
Mr. Doctor.
Of Back to Health Chiropractic Clinic. Say hello to the people.
In the studio. Say hello.
Well, hello.
How you doing today, Dr. Brown?
I'm great, brother. How you doing today?
I'm doing just fine and dandy. So normally, you know, we have random topics that we pick and discuss on air. But being that you decided to grace us with your presence, let's talk about what you do.
All right. One, appreciate y'all giving me the invitation to be in the radio program.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
And you know, I always tell folks, we always got to start it off with a little truth. So I am Dr. Kenneth Brown. I am a chiropractic physician. I'm a third generation African-American chiropractic physician. All born and licensed in the state of North Carolina. And like I said, we deal with everything from, you know, people always think of chiropractic as back pain, but we do way more than that. We do functional nutrition, whereas anything that you typically can need a pharmaceutical or a prescription drug for, we have natural things that we use to help get you better. We also do a lot of DOT or truck driver exams, and also not just that, but we have some of the best possible chiropractic things, whether it's plantar fasciitis, whether you have knee problems, shoulder problems, hip. If you was out dropping it like it was hot, we can fix that too. So that's what we do. And my neck, my back, and my back.
And both. Right.
So now let's start from early on. You said third generation chiropractor. Now, was this something that you always wanted to do? Or was it something you were kind of like, your dad and your granddad was like, nah, bruh, get in this?
Well, no, that's not actually correct. I didn't even see this coming. And it's my grandfather, my uncle, and myself. I got into chiropractic. Basically, I was in undergrad, and I knew I wanted to do something in healthcare, but I didn't want to be a medical doctor. It just didn't appeal to me. It was really not because of the influence of my granddad and my uncle. It's just one summer, it was the only summer I did not have an internship or anything lined up like summer school. And I ended up driving him to the American Black Chiropractic Association's conference. And that's where I met my mentors, who are still to this day my mentors. And they kind of, you know, I started asking them questions. I hung out with them pretty much the entire time during the event. And they really opened my eyes as to what chiropractic really is, because it was never explained to me, even though it had been in my family since before I was born.
Okay. Awesome. Now, a lot of people, like, we've known each other for years. You know what I'm saying?
Eons, decades.
And I've been coming to you for years. And a lot of people I know may have like back issues or neck issues, and they think it's a one and done type situation. Like, I go in, I get fixed, and I'm going on about my business. How do you carry that, or how do you look at those situations?
Well, one, it's because people have been misinformed about what real health is. They don't understand that when you have a problem, it didn't just start typically that day. So like, you know, with the exception of sometimes you'll have a catastrophic event, like say you're going down the stairs, you miss a step, next thing you know, you're 20 steps on the floor and you're trying to figure out why my back is hurt. That's one thing, but a lot of people don't get it. The things that you did as a little kid, middle school, high school, college, whether it was playing sports or sleeping longer doing that, leads you in the future to have a chronic degeneration, or the tissue start to break down and they just don't respond the way they do. So when we hit middle age, we start having all these aches and pains, and people are like, well, just take an ibuprofen or just, you know, take an injection. But those things don't fix anything. They actually make it worse, because then you start to ignore that pain. And then that pain leads you to do stuff you're not, because you don't feel it. leads you to do things you think you can do, but your body is really saying no. But the pain medications or the injections or whatever other therapies that are not fixing it are giving you a false sense of I'm okay, and that's not good. So then what ends up happening is you end up having a catastrophic event where then you're in my clinic, you can't pee, you can't poop, you can't bend over, can't stand up straight, or different things like that. Or just like one of my patients I just recently saw, she had plantar fasciitis. Now this is something we can only knock out in 6 visits and correct it, where she was going somewhere else and they're trying to inject her with steroids and whatnot. And these things over time will actually break down the tissues, and then next thing you know, you're gonna have to have a surgery, and your feet ain't gonna never be right. I don't know about y'all, I've had foot pain. I don't like it, and you want to get rid of it as soon as you can, just like any pain.
Right.
But it's all about chiropractic. The difference between what I do and any other physician is we correct the problem.
From the root.
Yeah, and it takes time because we're literally playing with the laws of cellular physiology. So when I tell someone, you might have a headache, half the time, 99% of the headaches I see are not due to a deficiency of ibuprofen. They're due to something else going on. But if you don't get the right analysis or the right exam, then how can you ever fix what's wrong and give it the correction it needs?
Something that stuck out to me about you and your practice and how you, what your foundation for your practice is right now, is I know when we've talked, you said you want to talk about chiropractic as primary care.
It is.
And that's different because a lot of people think of chiropractors as being specialized. So it's a very, it's kind of compartmentalized versus you're trying to think about it and you want other people to think about it as in terms of whole wellness, basically, of the body, right?
Well, I would say this, in order for me to really give you an adequate explanation of why people have that perception, I got to delve into a little history. So at one point, our practice, the chiropractic as it is, was founded in 1895.
Come on with the Black history, let's go.
And the same thing is, when you look at it, at a certain point, the American Medical Association made every valiant attempt to get rid of our profession. So they did the same thing with doctors of osteopathy. So you'll still see DOs here in Durham, but if you go to California, the AMA pretty much forced them all to go back to medical school and become medical doctors. So California, you're not going to really see DOs. Our
Hold on for a second. What's osteopathy?
A doctor of
Don't do that.
osteopathy.
Just say DO.
DO, yeah, man, there's big words. Whole bunch of spelling.
Osteopathy.
No.
Doctors of osteopathy typically deal with a lot of bone issues.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to explain it.
Gotcha.
They actually do something similar to like what chiropractic physicians do as far as an adjustment. However, like I said, they have really gotten away from that and they've assimilated into the medical side of treating patients, which is going to be medication and surgery. So they kind of walked away from their roots. And an interesting historical fact on that, my grandfather, when World War II was over, he had actually applied under the GI Bill to go to osteopathic school in Chicago. However, he gained his acceptance. But when he showed up, they wouldn't let him in because he was a black man. So what did he end up doing? He went literally 2 miles up the road to the National College of Chiropractic, and they actually let him in, and then he matriculated through there, and he became the first black doc licensed in this state and as a chiropractic physician. So at the end of the day, it's always been an uphill fight, but our profession has been maligned because of rumors that are not true, people saying, well, you're not a real doctor. And I always ask them, well, what's a real doctor? A real doctor to me is someone who can help you. It doesn't matter how they do it. Because like I said, sometimes I tell folks, I'm not anti-medication, I'm not anti-surgery, but I'm appropriateness of it. Right. But if the things that you're doing are leading you to that path and there's other things that can get you better, then you need to do the other things. Right. So, but when we look at it as primary care, people don't realize that, yes, our school, the school that we all went to, as far as my family, which is the National College of Chiropractic, which is now the National University of Health Sciences, actually trains us as primary care physicians. I read blood work, MRIs. We actually did rotations through hospitals when we were up there as well. Mm-hmm. We had 8 different clinics. We had an HIV clinic, 2 drug and alcohol rehab clinics, and a whole bunch of others. And people don't realize the full breadth of healthcare that we can bring to the table. Right. So that led me into more of the functional nutrition, which is how we deal with things. So yes, I do a lot of, people think nutrition is just eat 2 salads and this. That's not what I'm talking about. Yes, the diet modifications are important, but sometimes if you have, like, say, adrenal fatigue where you're tired all the time, we have natural things that can repair the system versus you just taking medications that stimulate it and eventually it crashes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I do blood work, we do saliva testing, hair analysis, a whole bunch of other things as needed. but we also do nutrition response testing and other forms to figure out specifically what that person needs based on the deficit that their body's communicating. And we just use blood work to confirm that, for certain conditions that they're getting on the right track.
Gotcha. So,
That was sexy.
hey, stop
I
trying to
didn't
get
say
on.
he was sexy, but he's not.
But he is.
Not sexy.
He is.
I'm just saying what he said was sexy. Okay, never mind.
Listen, let's keep it professional.
That was professional.
It was, but I'm saying let's keep it that way. But nah, so I kind of want to get on the nutrition part, but we're gonna do that after the break because I'm dealing with some situations right now myself. So we'll address that after this break and when we come back. So just remember, y'all, you're listening to A-440 Radio. I'm Bionic.
I'm Ray.
And you're tuned in to WDRB Media, the voice of the community and the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. We'll be right back.
Listen to some music.
Based on a true story. Just waking up and I scroll down my news feed. Lo and behold, what do I read? You putting our business out for the world to see, and I'm oblivious to the issue, 'cause you ain't said nothing to me. I'm only semi-psychic, so I don't know everything. Closed mouths don't get fed. Now you're mad 'cause you're starving. Yeah, I'm falling short. Let me know face to face. And if we can't fix it, then I'll give you some space. I'm not the man I wanna be. May not be the one you need, but I'm the one you have. It's not good enough and you're free to leave. I'm not the man I wanna be. May not be the one you need, but I'm the one you have. It's not good enough and you're free to leave. I don't give chase. Tag wasn't my game. You knew who I was from jump, and nothing's changed. I try to stay sane by walking away. Then you get an attitude, 'cause you want me to explain. But when I come back to talk to you, you're in shutdown mode. What more can I do? You just wanna move on like everything is fine, and nothing ever gets resolved. It's like we're wasting time. I'm not the man I wanna be. May not be the one you need, but I'm the one you have. It's not good enough and you're free to leave. I'm not the man I wanna be. May not be the one I may not be, but I'm the one you have. It's not good enough and you're free to leave. Yeah, that's not good enough. You're free to leave. No, I'm not who I wanna be. You're free to leave. If that's not good enough, yeah. If that's not good enough, you're free to leave. You're free to leave. If that's not good enough, you're free to leave.
And welcome back to WDRB Media, the voice of the community, and those streaming live through the free TuneIn radio app and through iHeartRadio. You are now listening to the A440 show. I'm Bionic.
I'm Ray.
And if you're just tuning in, we are discussing chiropractic care and all of that good stuff. But before I get into that, got to make sure to give our sponsors a shout out. Arcade of Thrones, where they offer a unique vibe for the perfect social gaming experience. 399 Hubert Street in Raleigh. For more information, call 984-200-4419, or you can email them at arcadeofthrones@gmail.com, and follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Arcade of Thrones, www.arcadeofthrones.com. Now, as far as our other sponsor, he's actually in the building.
He's in the studio.
That's why we're talking
Yeah.
about chiropractic stuffs.
Yeah.
And before we went to the break, you know, you mentioned nutrition exams.
Correct.
And so I told the people, you know, we've known each other for years, and I have horrendously bad allergies. And I mean, I have terrible allergies. But what wound up happening was, you know, we talk about other stuff in the office because we boys, right? So one day I was like, man, like my lactose intolerance was out of control, like super out of control. I'm not gonna go into detail because y'all don't need to know all that. But I told him about it and he was like, dude, like come in for a nutrition exam. And I'm like, okay, so like how does this whole thing work? And the way it works is hilarious to me. I don't get it. It's just him poking me in the stomach and saying,
It's
okay.
called muscle testing.
Nope, it's actually applied neurology. That's what it is.
It's applied neurology, y'all.
You said muscle testing.
It's a form of it.
It's a form of
Anyway, so like he tested me out. Let me
Sorry,
give my testimony.
Let's give your testimony.
Testify.
Testify.
He tested me out,
Oh.
you know what I'm saying, and was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Give me 3 days to give you your results, and then I'll have XYZ for you. So then after 3 days, he called me to come back in, and he was like, all right, look, I'm gonna give you these supplements. And it was like 11 bottles of stuff.
It wasn't on that, man.
It was 11 bottles, bruh.
You were down to jacked up. That is a clinical term.
It was.
He said that's what
And so he was like, all right, here's the plan. You take one of these 3 times a day. You take one of these.
Take 2 of these and call me in the
Yeah,
morning.
like take 2 of these before you eat. You know, take one of these for this, boom, boom, boom. Once this runs out, you're done with this. Once this runs out, you're done with this. Once this runs out, re-up on this, and then you're done with this, boom, boom. And so after maybe like 2-3 months, my lactose intolerance was gone. Like straight up. Like I'm killing pizzas. I'm killing Philly cheesesteaks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, like, okay, this is kind of all right right now. And, you know, he was explaining to me that lactose intolerance is essentially allergies or something.
Let me break it down.
Yeah, break it down for
It's
me.
easier than what you think. Most black people, African Americans, depending on if you're politically correct, don't have the enzyme to break down the protein in milk or milk-based products, hence lactose intolerance. So what we do is we ramp up your body's ability to break it down, whether it's because you have decreased acid levels or if you have decreased enzymes. So all these things play a function in you breaking down food that you eat every day. At the other extent of this is when you look at it, just like your case, you want to make sure that one, you have to limit what you're eating because it takes approximately 90 to 120 days to repair the system. And that's what most people don't get.
I'm sorry, wait. Did you say days?
90 to 120 days. This gets into cellular physiology. It takes that long to turn over new healthy cells. So the cells that weren't working, and the reason why they couldn't break the food down because they can't produce either the pyloric cells in the stomach couldn't produce the hydrochloric acid or you weren't producing the enzymes, you have to make sure you give your body time to heal. And that's the difference. We're correcting the problem. We're not just treating the symptom. So, you know, you go to the other physicians and you have lactose intolerance. They'll give you something for the gas. They'll give you all this other stuff, but it doesn't fix anything.
They'll put Band-Aids on it. They won't.
Dude, they'll slap a whole box of Band-Aids on you for the rest of your life if you let them. But we try to fix it because
That's a
my
nice
thing
metaphor.
is, I don't want to come in there and see you for the same thing. So if you make the right adjustments to your diet, you clean your body out through proper detoxification, and pooping don't mean you cleaning your body out. It's part of it, but that ain't the whole thing. When you start breaking your food down because the cells are starting to work, then guess what? You can start back eating some of those foods. So we look at folks who have seasonal allergies, asthma, other food allergies. We can actually test those things in sight to see what the sensitivity is, but more so where the breakdown is. And then we give you, through applied neurology, we assess where the breakdown is, and then through applied chemistry, we give your body biochemically what it needs to start to overcome it. So we're not per se treating the condition, we're treating the biochemistry that needs support. That's it, in a nutshell, or in a milk shell.
Again, sexy stuff.
Well, I mean, so when you're talking about applied neurology, break that down because I'm thinking.
You try to sound smart for y'all. That's
First of all, I am smart, just not in this realm of information. This is not my realm.
Well, when you look at it, every muscle in the body, everything in the body is controlled by the brain. The brain has little branches called nerves that actually run and tell these things what to do. So when we are assessing organ systems, whether it's your pancreas, whether it's your stomach, whether it's your kidneys, your liver, whether it's different organs in the body, we actually, if you understand how the body works as far as it being an emanating form of energy, when you touch a spot that's compromised, typically it has a corresponding muscle test that we can do that will show that it's starting to fade or it's not performing the way it should. So that's how we kind of localize it down. There's a lot of different things that we pull together to figure out where the breakdown is. When you give the body something that nurtures it and heals it, that muscle response becomes stronger. So it's applied kinesiology, but really functionally, it's just applied neurology. So we're using that to specifically look at you on a day-to-day basis, whereas blood work will not show that. A lot of the lab tests only show disease. We're in the business of finding it before it becomes disease. So we look at normal to dysfunction and then dysfunction to disease. We're trying to get you before it shows up in the blood work, because if it shows up in the blood work, guess what? It's too late. Like if you do the allergy stick test, if that's an immunoglobulin test, and they're just testing to see if your body is having an immunoglobulin or an allergic response. And a lot of times that's mitigated by the liver. So when you eat something, it triggers a histamine response. But if the liver is already off, guess what? It's going to be bad. And time can repair most of those things with the right care.
Funny that you should mention that, because just a few weeks ago, I had a allergic reaction to some stuff to where I had freaking, what did I have? Hives or something?
You had hives all over your body.
So
you just told your business.
I mean, it is what it
all
is.
in radio.
It is what it is. That's why I'm on the radio and not on TV. So, but so like, even with that situation, he was like, all right, dude, like, yeah, you can go ahead and go to the doctor. Like, go and don't skip your appointment. Because I saw him for a
his routine nutrition follow-up.
Yeah, I was there for a nutrition follow-up, but this situation happened in the process of that. So he was like, yeah, I can't even really address your situation till this is fixed.
Well, but that kind of speaks to the appropriateness of what you need when you need it. Like I said, I still feel everyone should be getting chiropractic care, not just getting adjusted. That's part of it, but even the nutrition side. However, sometimes you need to be on a pharmaceutical drug or a prescription med because it'll knock it down quicker. So this is the way I understood it, how it was taught to me. Prescription drugs mandate or force things to happen. Therapeutic nutrition or functional nutrition actually allows things to happen over time, and it's safer, healthier, and it's more restorative. Whereas it's like, if you have a headache and I give you a pain pill, it'll take away the headache pain, but it's not going to take away what caused it. So we have to eventually correct the cause. So everything has to come at the appropriate time. Hence why I was like, no, you need to go to your doctor, your medical doctor. You need a prescription for that because it's too far out of control. We have natural things, but it would take too much of it to get it under control. Right. And once we get it under control with the prescription, then we can go ahead and start addressing that new issue. And sometimes it's like pulling an onion off. You start to fix one problem, and you see some other fallout, and we got to address it as well. But the whole thing is to get the system to work the way it's supposed to.
Right. So to follow up,
he's not lumpy anymore, y'all.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Well, I'm decent. So now, Dr. Brown, you want to put me on this cleanse.
Lord.
Right. Which I'm very extremely nervous about because of my crazy allergies.
Right.
And because the beginning of the cleanse is fruits and vegetables and stuff. And I can eat them if they're like cooked to death. But fresh wise, it messes me up.
Yeah.
So
wouldn't this just point out maybe where that sensitivity is coming from in his body?
It can. And here's the thing. People don't realize, and I'm going to talk about this first, and I'm going to get into the purification of your detox. People don't realize if you're eating conventionally grown food, meaning that food has been sprayed with pesticides,
Right.
things that enhance color, your body, our whole generation, has been exposed to this garbage for
Right.
decades. Now we're starting to see the decrease in people's life because this affects your long-term ability to live healthily. The increase in autoimmune diseases,
Right.
the increases in all these different things. We have to look at what you're putting in your body. So if you ate some grapes from the grocery store that were not organic, and they, and you ate the regular ones that were sprayed with something, you could literally be reacting to that chemical. I'm not going to name the company, Monsanto, but
Right.
they've been banned in so many countries in the world because the stuff that they're spraying on our food,
Right.
it's killing us.
So
And-
what you're saying, if I'm getting this right, is that sometimes it's not so much that we're allergic to a certain food, we're allergic to this crap that's put on or
it
inside the food
possibly
to process it.
could be what's on
And
it.
so, but we're thinking we just ate this, now we feel
And-
bad, so now we're allergic
Right.
to this food.
Right, and it's the same thing I look at too when, because at one point when you look at a patient, you have to sit there and we actually we make you write down and track what you're eating and what you're drinking, pee habits, poop habits, sleep habits, all these things, and then we're looking for a correlation. Most people, I can usually pick out their pattern in about 2 weeks, and then we modify their diet, and then we apply appropriate treatment through therapeutic nutrition and herbs. However, like with you, man, it could have been the food, but typically it's going to be the skin. Like you were telling me, you had a sensitivity to grapes. It's usually going to be the skin because the skin is what traps most of the contaminant from the chemicals.
Right.
Same thing for like apples or any other fruit that has a natural skin. So you always want to try to eat as much organic as you can instead of conventionally grown.
Or as my homeboy calls it, pre-rotted.
Pre-rotted food is, like I said, the food don't die, you don't need to eat it, because like bread, you can put a piece of white bread out, and a lot of times it won't break down quickly, and you start noticing that bugs won't go around it, they won't eat it. Yeah, you shouldn't either. They're telling you don't eat this, we're not going to eat it, don't you eat it. But if you get a good food that's processed well, it's grown in the proper soil, and then it talks about, food is food. Yes, you need nutrients, but most food is grown in horrible soil. So it's one thing to have what are called phytonutrients, which is nutrients derived from sunshine, but then you actually have nutrients that come from the soil itself. And if you don't have that, if the soil is not composted right, guess what? You're not going to have the nutrients in the food. Then the food that's grown is not going to be naturally pest resistant. So you'll see, then you have to keep spraying it and spraying it and spraying it. And that's why even for the products we use, the products I use is a specific company called Standard Process in MediHerb. I've been to their farm twice to see how they grow. They're state-of-the-art conventional organic farming, and it's phenomenal how much science is behind it. But their products are larger, more nutrient dense, and also they're more resistant to pests because there's certain things in the soil that are in it that fight that off naturally. But we used to have about 6 to 12 inches of topsoil. Now we're down to less than 1 in most places in this country. So your food doesn't have the nutrients it used to. So you have to supplement, or you're going to be at a loss.
Gotcha. So I hope y'all all learned something. And yes, I put my testimonies out there because I like to try to be transparent with the people sometimes, most of the time. And so, it is what it is. Now, Dr. Brown, where can these people find you if they want to see you, schedule an appointment, like all that good stuff?
On the web, www.backtohealthcmc.com. So that's BACKTOHEALTHCMC, like Charlie Michael Charlie.com. But also one number for 2 clinics, 919-544-8881. Our South Point office in Durham is at 6224 Fayetteville Road, Suite 106B. And our Raleigh office is right off of Interstate 440 and New Bern Road. It's 1708 Treywick Road, Suite 205. And again, 919-544-8881.
So, folks, we don't just talk about entertainment news all the time. We try to help y'all out with some health and nutrition things. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, got to plug AYLeemusic.com.
As you should.
Music is hot, but you ain't got to take my word for it. You about to hear a jam right now anyway. Make sure to check out the old shows on YouTube, Bionic 151. And, if you search it for me and you stream your music, A.Y.Lee. And that's pretty much all we got. Dr. Brown, we are greatly appreciative of you coming
Insert
in.
clap, audio clip.
And we will definitely have to have you back because I think we probably need to talk about
Other things.
Detox thing.
yeah, we got to
gotta
talk about
that.
detoxing. We got
We
to
gotta
talk about
shopping organically because a lot of people don't even know, I think, what shopping organically is.
or
And labels.
and diabetes.
Sugar
So hey, he'll definitely be back, folks. And
He said sugar. I didn't say it. He said it.
and just know you've been listening to the A440 show with Bionic and Ray on WDRB Media, the voice of community, for double the information and inspiration. And always remember, life is too short. Say what you mean what you say, learn who you are, be confident in what you want. Stop wasting folk time, give people a choice, and move accordingly. And we out.
Go. Who you finna try? I bet it ain't me. Oh no, it ain't me. Cats. Who you finna try? Who you finna try? I bet it ain't me. Oh no, it ain't me. Cats. Who you finna try? You're so cold. Talk big and bold. You ain't got no chill, claiming that you real. But when somebody calls your bluff, from you talking all that stuff, you disappear. What's going on here? 0 to 100 and back again. You slow down, now we laughing. Got a lot of barking